All right, we'll start the meeting and bring it to order. First order of business is the road report. And so I don't forget, I think we ought to, as long as Rodney's here during this session, talk about the Brookfield field trip that we had and
Sure.
what we were impressed by and.
I think
and for that. What do you got for us?
Well, I'm. I have to keep dipping into that material over there, because I have things that just gotta get ready for winter.
Mhm.
And, I figured we should. Try to get at least 1,000 more yards. Through mud season.
Oh, the granite? What's that?
Which
Well,
season?
Which
one?
Really.
Yeah.
But I,
So would that come out of the gravel budget?
that we would, and I would like to see us. Get it from Lebanon if we could this time around.
Why?
Well, mainly
We spent a
because,
lot of time and talking to find out Northeast has the best material.
yeah, well, I mean, I don't care if it comes from up there, but I'm gonna dump it right into the mud and
Well, that's where it ought to be.
and so I wanted to know. Wanted to. You know, it's a little bit cheaper that way, but I don't have a preference. I just need to be able to tell the truckers what we're doing.
So how much more do you need? Now,
Thousand yards.
I would like to see us have 1,000 yards, and if we don't burn it up, we certainly can.
Right.
Use it for July 1st.
and you think the 3/4 inch stuff will work okay?
I don't get anything bigger.
Yeah.
And I think I think it would be. Regular sand works in mud, and this ought to work super great in mud. And so,
Why don't we want bigger stone? You don't think it'll,
I'm just afraid that I've been. Questioned about popping tires when it gets to be bigger. And Rita actually asked me if I thought I dared go bigger than 3/4 because they've been hearing an awful lot about tire popping and but I said I think 3/4 worked fine.
Yeah.
And it does work fine. There won't be nothing we have to try covering up.
Right. So you don't want to get any poor stuff from McCullough's this year?
Well, they don't even have anything.
No,
Their pit is pretty much empty of everything and they're not even 100% sure they're gonna have anything by springtime.
are they trying to go out of business?
Well.
When do they usually close, January 1st?
They
you say they were in violation or something?
Yeah, they tried to get themselves in a problem where the Bureau of Mines decided that they gotta do something different here for a little while.
It's federal.
And so right this moment, they're about sold out of everything and they getting kind of late in the year, they gotta get some shelves put in. I don't know if they're gonna.
What were we paying for stone? Delivered.
I think it's right around $30 a yard.
Northeast materials. Is this just stone or is it?
That's a mix.
I mean,
But it might be a little bit better than that. What is it? $12.75 a ton.
I'm gonna say, you're going to go right there.
It's $8.75, so this is a little over.
He's got it up like that.
Yeah, but I just got the price of stones, yeah, let's figure out.
Anyway, well,
Who hauled it?
Chase,
Chase. $8.75, yeah. $8.75 on top of
What's that? That's like
Oh,
4,500
Let's pick it.
a load for $10.
No, it could be, right?
It's $30 plus.
Yeah.
15. Is this by ton or yard?
All both times.
But there's a yard and a half per ton or something up there, isn't it?
Ton, like a ton and a half is equivalent to a yard.
Okay. Other than,
Yeah, more expensive.
And I'm only trying to
22
make it
bucks
work.
A ton or a yard,
a ton.
so about 30 a yard.
And you need 1,000.
I got it, 30,000.
What's that at? Up to- Here, put that at.
About 30,000.
Okay. How much do we usually get for winter?
I have some
Yeah.
on hand right now. And
Yeah.
it was. The only thing it's equivalent
So
to
when we get.
stuff up in Barry is
Did we say 154?
and it's cheaper.
We're gonna be,
Yeah. But we usually go into
Pretty
winter with how
Well, I
much?
still have some money for spring.
yeah.
I usually try to get it, go with at least 2,000 in stock.
Pick it
Yeah.
up, we go buy.
And we probably
So many.
close to at least
How much is
1,000
the sand money?
by the time we get
Yeah.
done, come up to,
We budgeted
And,
90,
I
we spent 20.
should have
Real,
But
plus 182
two in the yard. So I'll.
Anyway, it's
And
the
I
end
don't
of the
wanna
month,
get
end of
nothing, y'all see, I
Right.
wouldn't even count on you to
Like
have
this.
anything up there yet.
Yeah, let's steal the money out, that's all.
Right, right.
I'd like to see at least setting on close to 3.
Yeah,
So my thoughts are, I guess you better get it,
Yeah, if you can.
so I just when you get it out of northeast.
No, that's fine with me, I guess everybody needs to tell me what you're doing.
That's what you're doing. You can get it done. What else you got going on?
prices.
Hmm?
Do we know the difference in price between Lebanon and? Pretty simple, pretty common.
Yeah, it was pretty close. Uh. 1350, actually we're paying 25 cents more. A ton from Lebanon, but the trucking. Oh, the trucking even? I mean, he charge $8.75 no matter where it comes from.
No, it's 8 1/4, I believe, they said he had to go up 50 cents. That much bigger haul.
That's,
And I thought
So,
Lebanon was 11.50.
so it's 1350, yeah. 3/4 crushed stone base.
That'd be a wash.
pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah. It would be 25 cents difference.
Pretty open, open,
I'll make a motion. I'll make a motion that we get 1,000 yards. 3/4 stone from northeast. Materials,
So that'd be plant mix.
plant that delivered to the town, right?
I second that one.
Right, all in favor of that motion, say aye.
Aye.
Unanimous.
We're trying to clean up the roads best we can so that snow plows get over them and
Doing any grading, there's some moisture in the road.
he's doing a lot of spot grading now. We're not trying to rip up the whole road now. Cause
If you get a chance, sneak over on the back side of the town.
we'll make it over
Upside it,
there. We'll make it over there, but I feel you might as well wait for the big rain to get out of the way and then we'll go that way.
Don't sound like it might be as big as they were talking a
I'm
couple
just
days
listening
ago.
to it a few minutes ago and, you know, depending on how fast an inch and a half shows up.
right.
That's it.
So what else have you got for us?
I have a truck here that just came out of Lucky's, got inspected. They didn't see anything wrong with it. The brake liner people seem to think that it needs back brakes.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking that we should probably hold off for a little bit. I'd like to at least especially see them for myself, so I've told them that when they got the heater fixed and stuff, that we be picking it up, and bringing it back from home.
Is that the truck that had the broken piece that got welded and they had to replace?
This is Larry's 10-wheeler.
Truck's
only 2 years old.
Yeah,
And like I said, 2 days ago, it went through inspection and now it seems to have a leaking seal and they
oh, it says
brakes.
fuel tank plug appears to be leaking, looks cross-threaded, well, who did that?
That was, so I questioned about that today and that apparently come right from Freightliner because who knows?
Okay, well, why don't they fix it then?
That's what I say.
It's full of
and,
fuel, they don't want to-
Right, rear wheel seal leaking.
So after
Sometimes.
inspection, how did they get the Freightliner? Was that just for a service or something?
It went down there because the heater doesn't work.
And then they started looking at it and say, oh, you're
And the
ordered this
The
thing.
heater works, it's all under warranty.
Yeah.
Oh,
And it needs to have a whole,
Rear brake pins
the
are
whole
not,
unit inside the cab needs to be changed. And so it's gonna be, it would be expensive if we did, but it's all warranty, that part is.
What brakes would not be warranted?
No, that's a rare item.
says rear brake pins are not the right size, who's put them in?
I guess in Freightliner did.
you probably haven't,
Pretty good business model.
but I mean, cause you probably haven't had to touch the brakes. have you?
Well, we had to change, and that's the only thing that might possibly be the problem, is we used the brand new pin that came with the, cause or to get the truck inspected, they said we had a busted spring inside one of the canisters. And so we put on a brand new canister. But the pin came with the canister, and so if they're talking about that pin, I don't really know what to tell them, because that pin came with the canister.
Well, like you said, bring it home and look at it.
Did you get that last little piece of grant? Just 2 weeks a day for the letter back cross.
Yes, I know.
So somebody sign it. You know.
Yes, I'll send it out to Rita.
What else you got?
Trying to keep everything running smooth and get trucks ready for the inevitable situation that's coming up.
You're still in 4 days a week.
Yeah, for a couple. That's
Good.
it.
Jim blowing leaves or come in there?
But that mower blew out that lift piston and we had to change that.
Oh.
It's on order. It should be here any day now. We'll get that up and running.
What's happening with the Flint Bridge?
Yes, good.
I can give you that update if you
All
want.
right,
So in anticipation of this meeting, James E. McCarthy, who says he's the project manager for the highway division. Sent me an email. I specifically said we need to understand what's happening here. So he says he spoke with Spencer Howard yesterday. As I suspect he's the person who made the comment about replacing the bottom lateral bracing by the end of the year. In consultation with our covered bridge consultant, he stated that this bottom lateral bracing resists lateral loads only, wind and stream flow. Our hydraulic section did some quick work and stated that the 100-year storm created a stream flow depth around 8 feet, which is much lower than the bottom of the covered bridge. I'm trying to schedule an on-site meeting next week with our covered bridge consultant to look at the timber connections of the floor system and truss. This may lead to the determination that the cable bracing does not need to be installed. Our initial discussion with our consultant resulted in that the vehicular load capacity is not affected by this bottom cable lateral bracing not being in place. Based on that, Spencer and I agreed that if it's determined bracing needs to be installed, it can wait until next year and be included in the other work plan for this bridge. No reduced load posting or closing needs to be considered.
All right,
We just go ahead with what we were gonna originally do, right?
Well, they want us to wait until they make this determination, and I have already started the process for getting an extension on the grant, because the grant would be due 12/31/25, but they have made multiple emails saying they're the ones who have held us up from doing this, and they're the ones that stopped us from moving forward until they figured out the lateral bracing issue. So we will get an extension for that grant. We'll do this work next spring, and it will or will not include the lateral bracing pending this last consultant's final decision. So it sounds like nothing at this time.
So it was just, that's for like high water or ice,
Wind,
wind, okay.
The one on Moses. Last meeting, I asked about that pipe, if we actually okayed that, no.
Gibling Hill, culvert one with the fish ladder or whatever it is.
Well, gotta have some, I don't know, it's pretty flat there, I think fish can make that run, but I don't know. But I wanna go with a steel culvert. 40-foot one piece. And it's cheapest way out of it,
what was that, like an 8-footer or something?
yeah, it's something like 8-footer. I don't quote me on the size, but I believe the one in Stratford was 9, he said it's smaller, so I'm thinking 8 foot. Let's see,
Stratford Road.
there's one on the other end of Giblin. They just changed it last year, over on the blacktop part.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And so I don't see a problem at all with using a steel culvert for the road.
And
That's
that's,
steel culvert right now.
right, and that's part of this $200,000 potential grant we can get, or
That's agreeable to them, grantees.
Yeah, it's all agreeable with everybody that we go with this culvert and it's the only way I can stay within the 500,000.
which one is that? That's the
Giblin Hill.
Gibling Hill.
We talked about real bridge, we talked about multi-plate, we talked about a lot of different things.
Box culvert.
But then box culvert and still, this is the easiest, fastest way to. We figured the road would be closed like 3 days if we do it this way.
And Matt, pick up something like that from Black, or you have to kind of scooch it in.
We gotta put this out to bid and I told him this morning that he should start figuring on what his bid's gonna look like. He was happy to be at the garage and I said, well, we're gonna be sending you out a letter here, hopefully soon to put a bid in on this thing.
Whose grant is this?
Yeah, so it's the structures grant. Town Highway Structures Program, fiscal 26, 200,000, we have a 10% match. And we have until 12/31/27.
Is this a culvert that Two Rivers or somebody, the fans identified as needing to be replaced? Is that why that? Been on the inventory or something?
The reason why it's being changed out,
Yeah,
that's starting to be a dangerous spot. The road is so sharp, people have worked the corner of that road so badly, it's starting to fall over and there's. And that To me, it was no reason to try to build a new header when the culvert needs to go. Yes. The culvert is old. It's only like a 3-footer.
you know.
I don't know if this is still relevant, but when we put in the application, it was almost a $400,000.
Right, and that's why I've been working ever since, to try to get rid of that number.
Because you were gonna go with cement.
That would be the price of a box culvert. I knew that meant that we were gonna find 250,000, and I knew that was never gonna happen, so we started working towards something that made more sense.
How many culverts are we responsible for? In our 70 miles, we pretty
It's
interested.
about 1,000, about 900.
Yeah.
We're bound to replace every one of them.
What
Apparently.
are we working on?
Apparently.
Isn't that why they did that whole inventory, was just to decide how fast you replace each one?
Well, they did do the inventory. And the big thing we're working towards is all 12-inch culverts are a no-no. And all 15-inch are pretty much a no-no. And so now we gotta get them all up to 18-inch. That's the sort of lowest. And special occasions you can get smaller culverts, but it has to be a good reason.
Stratford Road slide, what's going on there? It looks like a war zone going through there.
Well, somebody's certainly beating up the cones, I can tell you that. I don't know
Someone's
what-
gonna drive over the grade stakes pretty soon here.
Definitely makes me concerned for the drivers in this town, the number of cones that have taken it.
Yeah.
Hard stretch.
Well, they're not, those cones are not getting beat up by you and I, they're getting beat up on purpose.
Mary Ann, like,
That's what I do when I have a bad day, I hit a few cones and get home.
Big stressor.
That's what's happening there, those are getting beat up on purpose.
What happens
they
to
done?
old cones? Do you save those, like, for the snowshoe book? Like,
Well, the ones over there, I don't know what they're made of, 'cause they're not ours,
Yeah.
but they're pretty brittle because they come in pretty small pieces.
They do, like,
They're getting
shoot right
the
out.
polish.
I don't understand, I don't think I've ever seen a cone do that.
These are just busting out.
So do we know where they are? Cause their original completion date was October 17th of 2025. For that section. No, that's what George
Over here.
said. Yeah,
What would you say the date was?
October 17th of 2025.
This was like a couple of days.
Are they done essentially, or does the state have to check off on something?
From what I understand, I tried to talk to them today because I wanted to have a little update for you, but they did not answer the phone. Several times tried and did not answer the phone. And so I don't know whether it was a day off for them or what, couldn't tell you, but anyways. Last time I talked to them was a week ago and they were given a date, I believe, in Blacktop, but don't quote me on that one, it might be somebody else. To get the payment down.
Yeah,
And we all know how hard it is to get anything done at this time of year,
yeah.
and we've been through it. But these people will have to come back here pretty soon and make that right, even with gravel, if that's what it takes.
Yeah.
Because we need to deal with it.
did we finish up crack sealing?
You want to finish it tomorrow.
Well,
There she is.
make it through 1 week.
And, no, I have for you folks, right?
So I mean, they're supposed to also reset the guardrail.
Yes, Lafayette is ready to roll, right, we haven't been here this week, but there ain't no blacktop.
Speaking of Lafayette. I talked to them about setting the posts for the sign.
Oh, yeah.
And they can do that, and they also can, program them as well for us. And it would be $37.80 for that, $3,780.
I thought the state was gonna do that.
Yeah, well. Oh, I have,
Wanna do it?
the state said they can't do it, they said they would, and then I heard nothing, so I called them. And then Chris transferred me to somebody else, and then he was like, I'll definitely do it, and then he called me and said, nope, we can't do it, I'm being told to wash our hands a bit, we can't for liability reasons. Why don't you call Lafayette? So I called Lafayette.
I don't understand, they're gonna put them right where those speed signs are
Yeah.
right now. What the hell liability is that?
You said 37.80. $3,700, almost $4,000 to put the posts and to program it.
For flashing speed sign?
Yeah.
It's a lot of money, I don't care, I'll tell you.
I hope they're nice folks.
They better be for that. Did anybody ever check with Luke and see if he would do it? Luke Barney?
We all wanted to. I don't wanna do it because it's a state road.
Yeah.
He doesn't have proper machinery to put it in the ground, he would have tried. But then we have to have the liability end of it, will they stay standing up, will they put this and that and bending the things, trying to drive them in the ground, and. I opted that we should do something fashionable to get it done. And,
You have to put it out the bid or?
I think too many else people put it up a bit too. I mean, we could drive it into the sled with the backhoe, but it's gonna be bent. The tube that goes inside of it, won't go in it, and, short from digging up and pouring concrete, don't see a way of, actually making this something that we should be responsible for.
Yeah.
Cause once something breaks it off, how you gonna replace it? So, I know it sounds like terrible money, but if we're gonna do it, we really need to put somebody that does this every day.
You know, do it. What do you pay for the signs?
A little,
Yeah, remember,
like 11 or 12, I think.
1,000,
Yeah.
what's another 4,000?
It's not, what's that?
12,000. For some people.
If we got that kind of money tied up, then we sure hell want to work.
We put them on a sawhorse or something. Wouldn't we?
That was Brenda's.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm down here for a couple of days, and I'll move it up for the other end.
Make it portable, yeah, make a little trailer. I don't know, it seems like a lot of money, but it's probably gotta do it. I do it for less, but I don't have time.
You got chimney fire.
You can make these,
Yes, yeah, you can see it by the box.
nice.
Nice box. Well, if you think it's a good idea, you ought to make a motion.
I thought it was a good idea.
Then if you did,
Oh, I make a motion that we get Lafayette, we said. Put in the speed. Speed sensor sign.
can we do it where we want to put them or where they? Post them?
I think we have to have Rodney with this. When I was talking with Mike Blakesley about this stuff, he said, let me know when you wanna have a pre-construction meeting, so I'm gonna pass that ball to your court.
What's that?
To put these signs in with Lafayette and the state, we have to have a pre-construction meeting to do it, so I'm gonna, if we approve this tonight, have him call you.
Set it up for any time next week.
Okay.
Or the week after, I guess.
And then you guys can talk about where you're putting them, even though we have.
Actually, if you can get something set up. Next week before Thursday, like Monday, Wednesday, Tuesday,
Warrant
Wednesday,
meeting.
I'll be around, after that, I won't.
Uh-oh.
Okay, Monday, Tuesday,
Off to Ohio.
Wednesday. Reconstruct.
That 11,000 is for two of them?
For the speed signs.
I
The
believe,
two
Yeah,
stop for
for
two of
both,
them, right?
yeah.
It kept going up, huh?
Yeah,
I believe we've already bought them, so we might as well plant them.
I'd want to second that.
Well,
I know,
Mike
it's
thinks
that
it's a good
no-
idea, I'll second it.
Okay. Okay, all in favor of Mike's idea, it's a good idea, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Oh, yes. Good.
We haven't talked about the garage.
That's next.
Oh,
Um. I got my buddy Mike Bonnet, and he said to call this guy at EF Wall, and I tried to call him a couple times, he was out both times. But I was asking about the difference between, maybe what the difference between metal and wood would be. And, yeah, he said, oh, he can. But I have not got all of them.
My opinion would be if it's neck and neck, you go with steel. Because I think we're gonna have a much better build than that's not made. Stick built is fine. I think in our situation, metal would be more durable to something hitting it or not. Because things do happen.
Did Benson say something about insulation on metal was gonna be? Well, I don't know, something that had to be different stuff or something.
I don't know what today would be, but what we have at the garage now is just large rolls of roll-out insulation. on
Yeah,
the
well,
walls.
I don't. They probably don't do that anymore.
Probably, because I know they said they sprayed that building with foam, and we could do the same thing at our building.
is ours stick built or is it steel?
Steel.
It's steel.
Only problem with ours is it's old. And they have changed the roof or structure. And ours don't come up to code.
Right.
If you add on to it.
Well, I like the overall look of the building and the fact that it had the bays that the trucks can come into and.
I think it should be, I'm looking for the future of it all.
Right.
I think it should be more planned out for a 4-bay than a 3.
Right. And I think we also ought to look into the future and make sure we design it and build it so that we can add on someday. So if our old town garage, so that we can't use it. We just keep that in the back of our heads and place it properly so we can do that.
And I know that the state has made noise about the road situation. I honestly don't see that as a big deal.
Mhm.
If we need to get to that garage and the road's gone, there's a bulldozer waiting to put a road through there to keep us moving.
Right.
And so I don't see I don't see why we need to buy new land.
Maybe I'll put the new town garage in West Tunbridge.
Oh, that's an idea.
That won't get flooded out.
And so I don't really think you need to get alarmed and nervous over the road business.
I think so too, because like during Irene, you guys brought the trucks over to your house, and so, I mean, it isn't like a hurricane pops up overnight and say, crap, I didn't see that coming.
I agree,
I mean, things can happen still,
but I also believe that a bulldozer could be brought in.
Right.
We could have a road, and maybe we'll have to do some reconstructing, yes, but we'll have a road to that garage in no time.
Yeah. oh, and I guess I was also thinking that John told about what a process it was to get through the state regs and what was it, the
Energy.
The energy.
The energy, but what was the other thing, the life and safety or whatever it was? Didn't he say that too?
Oh.
But anyway, the energy thing was a real pain, so we need to hire an architect and an engineer and all that stuff. That's really, instead of just doing it, they are thinking ahead as well as how we're gonna use it.
I
I
would,
don't think we can just do it.
Right, but we need to have somebody that doesn't, I don't know,
They had to actually sign off on the permits too, right?
Right.
right,
I think if somebody like Daniels is. Got the job to build it.
Yeah.
That they would supply all of that stuff.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Right in-house, and you won't have to pay so and so and this one and that one. And I think we keep that more reasonable.
right, but like John said, that they built it, they put in the heaters there, what do you call those things?
Heat pumps.
Heat pumps. And then, of course, that wasn't enough, so they had to put the other heaters, and then they're building so tight that it started to sweat, and then they had to
So
put in
then
those.
they had to put
air
in fans.
So I think it'd be nice to get all of that stuff ahead of time, so we just know that we're gonna spend X amount of money and not
Yeah,
X amount plus another
Keep
50.
adding on.
Right.
Yeah.
well, have an architect or an engineer say,
Well,
wait a minute, you're gonna have these problems.
Right,
I think that they probably can design this building to breathe and not lose a lot of air.
Yeah.
Should.
It's, they do it every day for a house, and so it's got, yeah.
right,
There's gotta be a way to make this thing move air around without putting a lot of extra things into it. I might be wrong, but I gotta believe we should be able to have that. But I do know if you tighten it right up tight, it may fall down on you. I watched the road out, a house out on County Road. They built that thing so tight that one day it was flat on the ground. Brought it from the inside out and down she went.
whose house was that?
Out there where Ben and
Kristen.
Kristen lived.
Yeah.
And how's that? They built some out of staters built that camp. And they built it nice and tight, and it really looked really nice. And when it fell down, you could see everything in it had rotted.
Huh.
Yeah, but a little too tight.
Yeah. All right, so anyway, back to the garage, I think we need to make a plan on when we wanna actually do it. Like if it's 2 years or 5 years or something, and just work toward that goal.
Right.
Yeah, you gotta make a plan. What size we want.
Right.
To ask people.
Right.
Both reasons.
They were lucky because they didn't have to bond with us and our company.
Right, but we're gonna end up spending $1 million. If we don't build it for 4 years or something, we're gonna spend $1 million.
Yeah.
That seems like a lot of money.
It does to
We
me.
just paid 3.6 for a truck.
Yeah. Yeah, it seemed like a lot of money, but when we look at other stuff,
We're just gonna buy 3 trucks and we'll be all set.
yeah, and then like he said, they're talking, you should trade them in sooner.
Right.
And
We're going in. All right, unless you got something else you can go, okay?
I think this one here, Robbie Hal wants to put a little driveway to his little building to build him.
I guess so.
It's already a driveway around that got put down. But see, I'll look at it.
Thank you, Rodney.
Yeah, come again.
Yeah.
thank you. Good luck on it.
Yeah.
I hope we do that.
Take a ride with you.
You're gonna take it, you're gonna take a gun.
I'm gonna take the bow and arrow.
Okay.
It's actually a crossbow, but still shoots arrows.
You saw some one in the air. All right, assistant treasurer appointment. Tell us about this.
So I just need you guys to okay Barry and so that I can take to the bank. And have it in the meeting minutes.
Okay.
'cause I don't have those. So I just need you guys to
Always Rick?
Are we reappointing?
You're not really reappointing.
It was when I was on leave, it was like right after I had Dutch so. You guys had the meeting and did it,
Yeah.
and then I hadn't been able to find where it was to write the minutes to say it, so. I said to Becky, it would just be easier if we put it on and you made the motion and I can print these off.
Okay. I want to hand it down.
I will we appoint Tara Weatherall as assistant treasurer.
And so,
All right, all in favor of Tara being assistant treasurer, say aye. Aye. Got it?
Also, while I have you guys. I need to make a timesheet policy. I don't think I can approve it today, it's not on the. There is a draft of it, so that we can approve it next meeting. Just because when Tara does, I just need the ability to not chase people, so if I don't have them, I can just estimate and say. Normally they work this many hours, we'll put it in. And that way Tara's not tearing her hair out and not chasing people around, so.
Do we have a standard timesheet for everybody or is
no patch time sheet in, you don't get a check.
I can't say that. I want to say that, but I cannot say that. That is not legal in the state of Vermont.
Cause I said the same thing.
if you feel like turning in your timesheet? Yeah.
So I just want the ability to say, if I don't receive it by this time, I will estimate your hours. And then true them up to what your timesheet says
When the timesheet comes in.
for the following pay period. And I just need to make that legal so that.
And if the timesheet never comes in, can you pay the estimate?
Just keep paying it.
So if it's, I've never had anybody where they don't want to give me their timesheet, it's just that. Sometimes we'll get them the day after we'll do.
Well, I guess I shouldn't say anything, I don't remember ever turning in a time sheet.
Yeah,
Might have chatted.
well, that's different. You're on,
Stipend.
yeah, stipend, yeah.
Oh.
Well, I think this is okay.
Okay.
Next meeting. Put it on
Next
the
meeting, we'll
agenda.
put it on the minutes and then it can be official.
Is that all you have, Ross?
That's all I have unless you guys have questions or.
Yeah, tax money rolling in,
Tax money is rolling in,
nobody's complaining.
everyone is complaining. I have not heard one person give me money and go, I'm so excited to give this to you, mostly I have it here.
I almost said that.
Till next year.
When's the deadline?
So the
It's falling on a
deadline is
weekend.
November 1st. It is on a Saturday and I am not planning to be here. So I have extended it to Monday. And told people as long as they get me their money and postmarks by Monday, they're good. Cause I don't wanna be here on Saturday.
Yeah.
And the mail doesn't usually run on Saturday, so. I will get grumpy people if I require them to do things of which.
And what are your hours gonna be from now until then?
So starting tomorrow, I will be here 8 to 6. And then 8 to 8 on Monday.
Okay, 8 right on Monday, yeah, just in case anybody asks.
And anyway, and it's on the sign outside too.
And the wage people can pay, I mean, besides coming in. They can,
They can put it in the mail.
yep,
They can put it in the box. They can pay online, either by online check or by credit card. There is a fee for credit cards. Sorry, my
I don't know.
stuff's in my throat. They can pay by online check, also has a fee of $1.50. Or they can come in person.
can they like exactly deposit from like a checking or savings account into the town with routing?
I don't allow an ACH currently.
Yeah.
But essentially they could do almost the same thing by writing a check,
Yeah.
by an online check, so they don't have to come in, it costs $1.50. And I don't have to give out our banking information to every.
They can't use an Apple Pay.
however you wanna pay, I've gotten,
Your little, reader machine in there.
I've got more credit card payments this year than we've ever received ever in the history, like. They've been rolling in. So,
That's the future.
Well, if that will prevent delinquent taxes, then it's good.
Yeah.
so I'm not complaining. And then hopefully, I wanted to have it by tax time, but. We're gonna have actual terminals so that you can pay.
Oh.
here.
Mhm.
But that did not happen. Cause they don't have the ones they recommend for us yet.
What, like car meters?
Change gears a little bit. Do you have any information to review again about the dump? The potential stickers on the windows and
So
things like that?
I don't have, I have not a chance to do anything other than taxes. But my suggestion is that we look at what just the sticker that says resident town of Tunbridge. And then require anybody who doesn't have those to pay for things like compost and recycling. And those kind of things, rather than having a sticker on your car that you buy that symbolizes what kind of trash. You know what I mean? We talked once about
Right,
buying a sticker for,
so you still buy the ticket with dump,
yeah,
and if you're a resident with the sticker, you don't have to pay for recycling and composting.
and
But
compost.
if you don't have the sticker, then you're gonna pay for it all.
And we may consider upping by like $1.
Right,
I mean,
That's one of the agenda items, but I printed off Royalton's versus ours,
Mhm.
so you can see the
Sure.
difference.
anyway, I knew Becky had some input.
You can look up Randolph landfill and it's got their prices. I looked it up, but I didn't have it in front of me. It's got their current prices on there that we could.
Want me to print it off for you?
For context, look at,
Yeah.
compare that. Yeah, if you want.
but
Is it residents and property owners or just residents?
so I feel like you could give people a sticker with their tags. It could go out that way, and then if you are a renter, you would have to come in and prove your residency. I
There's
thought
more
that-
connection that way as far as it's being paid mostly with property taxes.
Right,
Yeah.
right. So I mean, we've always offset it by saying, all right, the people that use the dump the most should pay more for it, and the people that use it the least shouldn't have to pay as much, right? That was always sort of the theory behind how we set it up. And I think, it's been working well for the most part. It's never gonna pay for itself. And I think we have less garbage burning, dumping over the side of when we do
Well,
it.
this world the cheapest around.
But I also don't wanna pay for all of Chelsea's trash and all of
Exactly.
Randolph's trash and.
I see down at the turnout by Corwin's, if you're just over the line of the Royalton, you can put a large screen TV there.
I did notice that.
And other things.
Yeah, there's a couch somewhere else.
So, yeah.
I feel like people, and that's kind of what I would like to
Me
avoid.
too.
So I don't hate our current system, I just don't. I don't wanna also pay for every other town people to put their trash here.
Right. It was efficient with this.
Wow.
Thank you. Well, I think we're on the right track to, at least I think, to get the stickers and at least work in that direction and. Yeah, advertise it a lot and people will figure it out.
Yeah, and I mean, I think there'll be, the first. It'll be a little iffy in the beginning, just getting everybody their sticker. But I think if you're a renter, you just have to come in and,
Right.
prove that you have those. a Tunbridge residency. I don't know how, and then
And then how do you do families, right, with 3 cars or, you know?
you get one sticker, pick a car.
Uh-huh.
I've already thought about this because it became such a thing. What car do you want to be your dump car?
Right.
Pick a car, you get one sticker.
And plus, Mike or whoever works there generally would know people that live here. Or at least for a while, I mean, people come and go all the time, but, so, well, you used to have a blue Subaru, why did, you don't have a sticker on your red truck or whatever,
Yeah.
still works.
Yeah, but I mean, I think for the most part, most people use the same car to
Right.
haul their trash. It's their dump car because they don't want to put their trash in their nice
Right,
family car.
a nice blue Jeep.
Yeah, exactly. Trash going in my Jeep, it's all going in the red truck. So,
You're just gonna take a sticker and put it right in Morgan's truck.
That's our dump truck.
so
Sorry, I must ride that every Saturday.
yeah, so that's sort of my thoughts on that. Is you get one sticker. You know, if you pay taxes, it comes with your tax bill. And then you are a
And it's
renter.
really, right, for the unknowns, I mean, if it's Rodney Hoyt comes to the dump, right, I mean.
Yeah, I mean, for
You're
the
like,
most-
oh, I think he's a resident, I think you're.
Yeah, I think for the most part, people are, well known. It's the people that you go, have I ever seen you
Right,
before?
yeah.
You don't have a sticker, you gotta pay the price.
Yeah,
And I also think, if we're not already, they should be taking the tickets again.
Right,
yeah,
Mike said he would like to.
That was getting really abused,
yeah,
so. I think we better go back to that.
I saw Mike Cow and he was gonna meet with Mike Barnaby about the hut, but then Mike left the dump on Saturday, so now. He was there when I went, but
Really?
I don't think they've connected since then.
Okay, good, at least he's thinking about it.
But that might be something we wanna, try to do before winter.
I think we should, yeah, it needs to be done. So let's talk about the price list, or what we might wanna do. Is that all you have, Becky?
That's all I currently have.
Okay.
I don't remember what our first list is,
It's in there, in your phone.
Almost twice.
maybe our first meeting, when is our first meeting next month?
It will be November 11th.
We should meet at like 5:30 and just go over. There's the after daylight savings or whatever, it is, so.
The transfer station?
Yeah.
Yep,
This, I mean, we can't do it after because it's too dark, but
Right. Sure,
if
yeah,
you remind us, we're sure.
Probably won't come.
What's that?
I said probably won't come, if that's fine.
Oh. On. Oh. For Veterans Day, is there any difference?
I wonder if Casella would make us a price sheet like this. since we,
Look at that off one,
yeah,
it's pretty nice. I mean, we don't have to put everything in there, cause we, like, if we don't wanna take car batteries, we should just eliminate that.
awesome.
Like, we don't have bulky items at
Right,
all, right? I
right.
mean, people. Throw them in the roll off, but
No sofas.
it's not like, oh, that's a twin mattress or that's a fall. It's overstuffed charity or some of the rest of them.
Yeah, leave them beside the road.
That's another thing we should add.
That,
Overseas.
Well, you know, that if you're gonna put a free couch or bed or something by the road, you know.
Can't leave it there 6 years.
Right, exactly. As soon as it rains, right, you're on the hook and get rid of it. It's,
it doubles in its weight.
yeah. You see that a lot. This,
You know, with that big TV, I wonder, if there's a state, that at some point come and take it away. And
Right.
the state guys, see what happens.
there's a couch on like Edwards Road for like weeks.
Well, that leads me into other business.
Well, how do you wanna proceed on this? Do you wanna make up some numbers, or do you wanna, see if Casella would make us one? Well, we gotta have,
Casella Casella did this for us.
I think.
Yeah, I was just saying that they would make it look nice like that for us.
Yeah.
But.
Is this
probably
their cost? Like, where did they come up with this?
Randolph?
Right, it's Randall, but it's got a
I'm
Casella.
sure
header on
Casella probably helped them price it. I can
Well,
ask, I can,
Casella runs it.
Do
So,
they?
it's just in Randolph.
oh, okay.
Yeah, everybody there is a Casella employee.
Oh. So you wonder, is Casella making money on this? Is this a
No,
wash?
I doubt it.
Yeah, well, they make money on
other things.
tipping.
Can't believe they make any money.
But I just wonder how much, right, this was designed. As, you know, this is essentially how much we feel Randolph citizens will pay without going it over the bank, and
Well,
then we'd have to know how much
you got
municipal Randolph
you
pays
got
to
a
sell it.
tire tire here without rims, $7.
Yeah,
And when I got rid of my tires, I think I was paying Bob $4. So
At
the
the
shop was probably making $3 on it.
yeah.
That mean we're losing $2 on every tire?
You probably are.
In Royalton, a car tire is $6.
$6.
Yeah.
Because what is it? We only cover about half, right?
Yeah.
Dump tickets.
More or less, yeah.
And now we're not getting really any revenue from metal or
No, we
recycling.
haven't
or
for a
tires.
while.
No, 'cause that dropped so much, so.
Right.
And I think actually the dump tickets this year were up a little bit, and so that actually would about cover the cost of the garbage and the attendant. But it doesn't cover any of the recycling or anything like that, so it doesn't matter how you figure, we're losing money.
It seems like we'd have to know how much municipal Randolph still is paying Casella,
Well,
Right, for the tipping fees and all that stuff,
Exactly.
yeah.
because it's the balance between those two that's.
Right.
I'll ask.
Okay. I like this format though, because anybody could get it and just look down.
right,
And
easy to,
It could be online, right?
Right.
You could have it at the dump, yeah.
we could have a big one of these that get blown up and put it on the bulletin board.
Yeah.
And Mike could say, yep, washers are.
piece of
$50.
plastic over.
Yeah.
I mean, once again, it's tricky though, because you're like, those bulky items, I can see them all going over this side of the road.
Right.
How many quarts in a gallon? And don't look at me, like that's a bad question.
As you buying or selling? We wanna wait for more info before we make up any
Yeah,
prices.
we find out also what the. Well, capital.
I think it's just for, you know,
Is it just for all of them? I thought it was like a municipal district.
No, Bethel stepped out of it.
Oh, they did?
Yeah,
But Bethel residents can still vote.
they can,
Yeah.
but it's just run by strictly royalty.
Yeah.
Okay, can you see if they, on top of. Running the transfer station, have to come up with. Like we
Like-
get extra money for
Yeah.
Casella, or whoever takes.
Yeah.
No wonder it's. So there'd be a way for us almost right to. Crunch those numbers and be like, well.
Yeah.
The real cost of a bag, of trash
Right,
is this much.
Yeah.
There's any town that actually covers. Doesn't have to. Touch taxes. to
that's
pay
a
for
good
them.
question, but I doubt there
I
are.
don't think so, yeah.
where you at?
And
If there are any towns who actually cover all their costs of their transfer station,
By fees, yeah.
right?
It's funny, because it's just like you pay for it one way or another, right?
Right. It's like we're sharing,
because a lot of people are in that, so they have house pickup.
They do.
Right.
And who does that? That's something.
That's some,
Or
or,
private.
we send ours with, what's his name, Ryan?
Ireland,
Ireland. He picks up our
Oh, yeah.
and does, Davis Road.
Yeah.
Does a lot.
Yeah.
but even like Berkshire had their own garbage truck. I think they don't have it now.
Hmm.
But the road crew would go out one day a week, like on Tuesdays or something, and gather it all up. And
Really?
I don't know where they took it to, probably over. There's like a Bethel Royalton site
Substation.
somewhere where they just go and dump it off, but
Right.
they supplied the road crew and the.
Hmm.
Probably at least two guys in the truck,
Right.
and I don't know if there was a charge for that or not, I never heard that.
Yeah.
Somebody, Dean Sauls or somebody told me they went down to North Carolina, South Carolina. And that was part of the city thing. You didn't pay for it.
Yeah.
You just put your rubbish out there and the town picked it up.
Yeah, my
Mhm.
sister has that in Derry.
But your tax bill, you can pay
Right,
for that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I think a lot of cities do it that way.
Yeah. The more you make, the better deal it is. And that-
I never thought of that.
But then you're not probably leaving your overstuffed chair outside either.
Right.
It's recycling,
Unless
it's
you
smaller.
bring
That's
They-
still gotta go over the bank.
Down the sewer, down the manhole.
You can get it down there. All right, so we're gonna wait for more information before we do any pricing.
Yeah. Well, that's a good start there. And this, yeah, this is good.
Yeah, I think that's something that.
We're definitely probably the lowest around.
Yeah. That's
Quite-
what I.
quite a bit.
Sorry, that's skipped right over you.
That's so exciting.
Yeah, well, let's move on to Betsy.
Got talking trash.
Yeah,
Well, I was gonna mention about tires, and the river cleanup, I'm not
Oh,
sure if you
yeah.
ever got a report about how many tires.
somebody, Eliza or somebody sent an email. Somebody
It
did.
was 14,
14 tires.
yeah. Some metal,
What was the stretch that was cleaned?
from Russell Road to, above Belknap. We've done that section
Right.
above Belknap once, but it had more, but I uncovered.
That's good. Yeah, just hanging up a haunted trail banner out here and right off the bridge, you can see there's a tire clearly in
Oh, yeah.
there.
Did you go down and get it?
Too cold.
All right, what do you have first? You can come over here if you want, or stay there, doesn't matter.
Well, I knew that Amy had attended your last meeting, to talk about the housing subcommittee. And I just wanted to maybe get some feedback from you of what you think that, how that might be arranged, whether. How many people you think might be an ideal number on that subcommittee? Would we report to the planning commission, or would you like us to report to you? Would you be, appointing the members of the subcommittee, or is that something that we would do?
You're saying subcommittee, would it just be a new committee?
Yeah, well, that's a good question. I think it's. And I thought that there might be someone on the planning commission that would sit on that committee.
Right, no,
I was interested in joining the planning commission, but, that hasn't happened, and I don't know whether that's an ideal.
like you could have designated like one select board member or one. planning
Yeah.
commission or something like that, yeah. And is this? I know the interest is mostly senior housing.
Yes,
So I was wondering if. Would it make sense to create like a housing authority, and then this would be a subcommittee, the senior part would be.
mm,
Just because we talked somewhere a lot about just housing such a big issue in general.
Right.
To have sort of a. Some sort of really more general one, just to
Right,
identify. You know. How to get more housing,
Yeah.
affordable housing in Tunbridge.
Yeah.
And something like this, senior housing would be a great thing too, but
Right.
it's almost a subset of that.
right, that seems like the logical order that you do it,
Yeah,
even if you didn't lose the first part.
right,
so I have been exploring properties in Tunbridge, mainly along 110, because I wanted it to be on pavement for seniors.
right,
And I've been in contact with probably 6 or 8 different people in town on different aspects of it. Depending on where the property is that I'm looking at. But when I approached those people about being on a committee, they weren't too interested in being on a committee, but there's a core of 3 of us. And I don't know if that's sufficient, or whether we might look down the road to expand that once we get a better idea of what we're looking at.
who were those three?
Sarah Danley is
Yeah.
very helpful.
That's great.
She sits on Vital Communities board, and she's focused on housing specifically, and she's been very helpful. And then Chris Wood
Okay.
is,
Then you,
and
yeah,
so far that's
Mhm.
the only commitments that I have.
good group. I should connect you with Sue Carpenter's, the woman up in Cabot. Try to get you with, but the Cabot did this, they started a
Oh,
town, or, you know, I think it's really not been profit maybe, but somehow I think it's town senior home. Pretty interesting.
Oh,
Yeah,
and what was her name?
Sue Carpenter.
And do you know if they came to any conclusions, or how long's it?
It's been running for like 15 or 20 years.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Well, I think there's definitely a need, especially for seniors.
yeah,
Yeah.
Especially with winter and roads and trying to navigate on.
yeah.
So Sarah had provided this information to the planning commission a few months ago, actually, it's dated June 2025. But she did specific demographics of for Tunbridge, that was kind of interesting, 67% of the households are occupied by one or two people in Tunbridge.
Yeah.
25% of the units of the houses are 2 bedroom. So they're, I guess she was saying that there's room to maybe add on 80 accessory dwelling units or.
Yeah.
60% of the houses in Tunbridge are 3 bedrooms or more. So 60% of the houses are 3 bedrooms or more with only 1 or 2 persons
Yeah,
living in it.
right,
So
right.
it will free up housing if we can move our seniors into a more cooperative cluster housing. Independent living still, not assisted living.
Right.
That's.
And what did Diane Ward have? Was that assisted living? I think that was assisted living.
I couldn't say it.
I think it was.
You know her, Diane Ward,
No.
from Share. They closed it now for some reason, I think, but that was about 8 units, I think.
Yeah, since we're on septic and water, we're looking at that small, clustered,
Right.
small
Right.
projects that may be scattered up and down.
Yeah.
110.
But also to be a good clearinghouse for like home share too, so. But
Yeah.
if older Tunbridgians, needed, I mean, they could work out using that 3rd bedroom with a younger person who could help out.
So it would be called a housing authority,
Right.
and is there an example of?
I don't know, yeah. I brought it up at the legislature, but,
Yeah,
I mean, it seems like every town should have one, but,
yes,
I
yeah,
think I have a lot of takers, but we could find out if they're, I mean, I know there's certainly the bigger cities have this sort of thing. But towns our size, I don't know.
I would
I
like
can-
to talk to you about legislation.
Yeah,
Opportunities and,
for sure.
in particular, some spots that are a good location for senior housing, but they might have complications with brownfield.
Mm-hmm.
And it would be nice to be able to have state funding to help clean up those
Right,
sites, so they could be used.
right. And there certainly is the government. Every time he does the inaugural address, it's about part of the budget, it's about cleaning up these brownfields.
Oh,
Industrial, commercial use, so now things seems like.
Yeah.
Could fit there too. What's Tunbridge, are you ready for senior housing?
He's already got it?
We're sharing with Brenda's.
You ready to move into cousin Betsy's and so you can take care of it?
Consolidate your enterprise.
Then we'll use your house for young sassy people.
Probably you want to appoint Betsy and her 2 cohorts to this new subcommittee,
Or create it, yeah, I
Yeah.
guess.
or create a committee and then appoint them.
yeah, I wondered if it would be kind of like the Trails Committee was set up, where they came to you for the appointments of the members on that committee. And then,
Well, maybe by next meeting, we should have. This plan of maybe first like create a housing authority
Yeah.
and have a subcommittee be
Okay.
these 3.
Okay,
Even if they're not staffed at the moment,
right.
at least they exist.
very good.
We have to do something, Mariah, special to create a committee, like the Trails Committee, do we?
I don't think so, but I'll look into it.
And then like who, right, how big they would potentially be, or who appoints them, that sort of thing.
Right.
Who appoints the trails committee? Is it planning commission or us?
I think the planning commission recommended.
Right.
Members, and then you did.
So we could do the same thing, maybe. Commission.
Yeah. Okay, I guess we have a plan.
Thank you.
Yep, you're welcome. Thanks for your interest.
Thanks for volunteering.
Yeah. Of your business. Is that you, Mary Ann?
Thanks, and Mariah. A couple of quick things. I did try to send a lot of this to you via email, so you should, and I just sent some of it tonight, so you should have it, but. MERP follow-up, we had the MERP bidders walk through this last Thursday. We had 3 bidders come, which is nice. What I learned during that, and I didn't understand before this, was that Two Rivers has broken up the RFPs into the weatherization piece. And then the HVAC and electrical. So these 3 bidders were just looking at the weatherization, the building envelope stuff. As we walked through, they were very concerned with the size of our grant. They felt like the work that was requested in the RFP is much more than the 200 and whatever we have left. We spent 40 something on the solar, so we'll have like just over 220 or something left in this grant. So they felt like it wasn't going to, their bids were going to come in quite a bit higher than what we have in the grant.
But they would still move forward, saying like, here's your RFP, this is what we could do it for, even though we're gonna way exceed your grant.
Right, they would still bid on it
Uh-huh.
and send it, and I told them to do that because I said we have a separate batch of special projects funds that we may decide
Right.
to utilize or not. The other thing was the bids are by building and they will be able to see the item. So the other thing we can do is we can look at those bids and you could make a decision like, we want to spend the entire grant on the town offices.
Yeah.
And that's fine within the
You don't have to do all the RFP stuff.
you don't, and you have to, and you prioritize. What I asked, Two Rivers to take back to the state though, is that because the grant was issued for both buildings and we have dollars associated with each building, I am not 100% sure that you could just take the entire 220 and say we're just gonna put that on the bids that came in for the town offices and do nothing in the town hall.
Oh.
Because there's this piece about you can only go on any line item up by 10% plus or minus. So there would be details to figure out about how we could actually spend the money, but first we gotta get people to get us bids.
And does MERP care, if we had to do a 50% match?
They wouldn't care what we did
They
with
don't.
our dollars.
Yeah.
So it might end up being that you just prioritize 3 things at the town offices and 3 things at the town hall, and then we pay for the other 3 in each through some other sums of money, for example. So there would be some decisions potentially to make once we get those in. And like I said, these dollars are gonna come in and they're not even gonna talk about the heat pumps in both buildings. I think there was electrical upgrade in one of the buildings, so that would still be other pieces that if we ran out of money, we make a decision that we're just not gonna pursue getting bids for those portions because we don't have any money left to pay for that or whatever it might be. So that was the first thing. The second thing related to the MERP was when we went in the roof or the attic
Right.
of the town hall. 2 of the guys actually popped the hatch and crawled up there and were walking around on the cross beams, cross members, something, whatever they call them. And they noted at least 3 spots where the roof is leaking. That is not part of the grant. And they were just walking around in this end, they didn't go all the way down. So they said, you should probably tell your select board that they need to get an assessment of the roof. And you probably need to do some roof repair that is outside of the grant. So I wanted to just relay that to you.
Standing seam.
Yes.
And then the last thing related to Merck was I had went over with you before that Wu-Fi study, and we talked about it last meeting. We said we're gonna make a decision this meeting. I was supposed to get some more dollars. I forwarded you those dollars. But it looks like getting that Wu-Fi study done could be anywhere from $20,000 to $50,000.
This was for the,
For the bricks that are, maybe don't, if we put in the insulation on the inside, it may prevent the cycle, the wet, dry cycling process, and could cause other issues. That study is apparently very complicated. They, you have a contractor and you have an oversight company, they come out and they drill boreholes. And then those get sent off for analysis, and then based on that, they run their computer model, and they tell you what your building can or can't tolerate. Number of samples, number of boreholes, all that sort of stuff adds up. And so the woman that I was talking to that sent me the information said essentially, the cheapest one she's seen is like $10,000, and if you need 2, 3, 4 samples, you could be up around 15,000.
Yeah.
So when I walked in with the bidders last week, I just looked at it and let's all caveat this, but I am clearly not a building person. But I don't see why you couldn't just do some sort of like drainage system, because it's where we park, and then there's an elevation difference, and then there's the building. And so if the concern is snow coming off the building, piling up and melting in, and then snow from the road, snowplow, whatever, being pushed over and melting, why couldn't you do, I don't know if it's a barrier, I don't know if it's a drain, I don't like, but why couldn't you just keep the water?
I think it's more splashback that they're concerned about, where he explained it to me.
Back from the roof?
So when the water drips off wherever, hits the ground, it splashes back onto the there. The insulation will prevent it from drying on the inside, which will create it to break down more.
So why can't we put an outside barrier?
Yeah,
It stops the,
for gutters.
it
Yeah.
stops it from.
I mean, I just felt like someone with more knowledge of this than me should probably go outside and look at it, but I felt like for $50,000, there might be other ways to divert the water.
Yeah.
I wanna go with the brick pouring business.
Bricks. Gonna need to replace it anyway,
Yeah,
like
we
very
just use
kind
a
of
different.
anyway.
Yeah.
Not brick.
So I'm a grants coordinator. I have no other qualifications, so I'm not going to make a recommendation other than that you should likely get somebody who has an actual qualification to
Yep.
make a recommendation to go look at the space and do so. But if you want me to pursue the Wu-Fi study, it would be outside the grant, and it would be contracting with this company in Maine and CX Associates, and between those two organizations, they would run the whole study for us.
Just a lot of money.
Well, I think until we prioritize what needs to be done,
Right.
it doesn't make sense, because that may not even be one of our priorities.
Well,
Well, they are gonna insulate the inside down there's no insulation.
but
in the
Yeah.
basement.
I don't know, is the historical preservation people, would they let us just take the brick area out since we've already done it and they'll erase it?
Yeah, so that's the other thing I don't know about the historic, so what I know is that if you have grant dollars to do it, then you have to clear the activities through the Vermont Historic Preservation. If you are not using grant dollars. I don't know, again, I'm your grants coordinator, what I can tell you is that if we're using state or federal grant money, there would be the historic preservation requirement to sign off.
I think because it's a historical building. Modify it.
That's not good for you.
I would be surprised though if that's the case, because if you walk around the building, there's clearly been work done. Lots of work done,
Right,
there's bricks that
totally
have
agree
been
with that.
replaced, there's mortar that's been put in random spots, like.
I do hear you on that, but I'm not sure. Legalize.
Where did this all come up to begin with? Was it the?
It was the CX Associates
And
who
you-
came and did another walkthrough to help revise the bids to be able to get bidders to actually bid. And they were the ones that had this concern about the front of the building related to Becky, they put it in the email. So,
What if you could get someone like George who went to be the one that makes some decisions on that?
Or
You'd be willing to look at it and say, you don't need to do that with a brick, but you know,
division,
you could do this.
they may,
Right,
I mean,
an
they
option.
have to have a
We
history
need a
of
brick expert.
how you say brick.
yeah. Well, I'm not even, because if you go look at the front. The brick that is like getting rough is up a side brick that you clearly replaced at some point. The town has replaced a portion of the brick out there at some point. It looks like there's new brick out there.
Right.
And then the next section is this like porous kind of crumbling brick. So,
Well, times have changed, and years ago you could just do that, now you can't. And plus, we weren't insulating downstairs, and the experts didn't tell us you shouldn't do that.
I was gonna say, and at one point, there was a doorway that led
Right.
to the basement.
so maybe that's
The town
where the-
clerk, and it needs to be in the basement. So, which still, but by me, she also had a nice calendar, apparently, that I first thought, oh my god.
You could pay me 10,000, I just drive into the bricks.
I bet you do it for fun.
Yeah.
I have to consider the damage to my whatever vehicle I use. Maybe your old truck.
You borrow my old phone.
I could borrow your old truck and drive it into the bricks.
Yeah.
Oh, whoops.
Whatever 60.
They have to be repaired.
Yeah, like I think he said that.
You didn't record that, did you?
Alright, so I leave it to you to tell me what you wanna do for next step. The only place where it matter, really the only reason where it's gonna thank you is that matter is. If we get bidders, we move forward with prioritizing, select a bidder, and then we say to that bidder, oh, you can't do the work, we're in the middle of this analysis or whatever. So that would be the timing of it. But I would. Well, even as soon if it's not done through a grant, then I don't know. One of us would wait to hear from you if you want to contract with this company to do this analysis, or if you take another tact of getting some other expert to take a look at it.
Did any of the contractors ask if we ever done sub study?
No, one of them read it in the report and said, are you going to do that? And I said, it's a select board decision, I think they're making a decision next week or something. And they were like, oh, and I said, have you ever like heard of that? And they hadn't, I don't know if it's newish, but like, I know there's only one company on the East Coast that's doing it up in Maine. You know, so,
So in other words, it's not something that they were looking for to have done before they would touch it. They would be willing to do the same. And so. I was scared, they were like, well, you must have this study done before we touch the installation.
yeah, none of the three of them said that.
If they're sort of like, we'll insulate it, we don't need that study done. It's not that important.
Right.
I think he just was worried about the longevity of this, which I don't know if they're gonna be longer lived if.
Well, maybe we shouldn't worry about the bricks.
Mhm.
I don't think we should worry about it.
So they off the select board someday.
Yeah. Mariah's grandkids can worry.
They won't come.
Well, and I don't know if it's just the bricks or if it's that there might end up being mold behind the
Right.
bricks, right? Cause I thought part of the email said something about the wet, dry cycle was gonna cause.
Situations.
So he actually didn't mention anything about mold, it was more about the longevity of the bricks. Once you put a barrier, they can't dry from the inside out,
We could get a
they will crumble fast.
They'll cover fast.
Yes.
Okay,
moisture changer.
Yep.
That was more what he felt.
I mean, part of me is like for $50,000, you could just get a salamander
Thank you.
and go plug it in once a day and dry them.
Or like you said in the first place, put gutters up or just change the configuration up front, and maybe it would. Maybe you can kill two birds with one stone.
Right.
You could get
Limit.
solar panels to shine on.
You're always thinking, how about a big mirror?
Go for Route 110.
Yeah,
It's gonna be really bright, I'm really not sure.
we gotta aim it properly.
But the takeaway seems to be there's just not enough money to do. What we have in mind.
There's probably not enough money to do what we already have on the books for these two buildings, and we'll be making some decisions. when those bids come back.
And
And I'm not gonna pursue anything else with the LUPI analysis unless you either tell me that you voted and we're doing that or not, and then you would make that.
how much of ARPA is left over? We wanted to add that to the rest.
You have no ARPA money.
Right.
We have special projects.
You're not my favorite kind.
Yeah, very good.
Alright, so outside of your committed dollars, we have 224,393. That was originally from. The ARPA, that went into the special projects fund, and then I don't know if other dollars have also gone in there, but the ARPA portion that transitioned to your special projects fund. is 224.
How much? Double.
Our total Merc reward was like 258 something, but we've already spent for the solar, which is 47.
Identical.
So close to what, 500,000, 450 maybe?
Mhm.
In between those two buckets of money.
Nobody should be expecting extra money out there for their own special little projects, so let me take her.
I make one.
Yeah.
But you explore other options to protect the brick.
Right,
We'll take a,
Is it WUFI?
WUFI.
and probably better explore somebody fixing a roof
Yeah.
over there.
sooner rather than later.
Who do you want to do that? Do you want me to call like Iron Horse? Or are you looking at Mike?
I know Mike would get up on the roof.
Probably one of the companies, so.
I don't know if they would do it either, when they do new installations and stuff, that I don't know if they patch. I don't,
I'll talk to you.
yeah,
But talk with someone. If they can fix it or whether it's gonna be replaced or what else.
yeah, at least look at it to see what's going on.
Audit.
I know Randy Hoyt used to, or Randy Hoyt and Company used to do stuff like that. I don't know if they still do or not.
I don't know if they're have time right now,
Right, it's that time of year, so.
and they're, yeah, some members.
Gary, if you wanna sign that there. The Mary White reimbursement, is submit, and then. And just so you don't think I'm pulling a fast one over you, yes, you did sign that last select board meeting. But when I pulled the timesheet records to match up with what we were submitting. Some of the numbers didn't quite match, so I had to go with what was on the timesheets, so. 'Cause
Maybe
that's
somebody didn't pass it.
yeah, no, it was like silly things, like, you know, it looked like there was a 6, but then when I looked at the timesheet, it actually had a 9. Or, you know, like someone said they used truck 2. But then when I pulled the timesheet, it said truck 3, and I have to go with the timesheet, so if we get audited, so I revise the numbers to match what is on timesheets. So now I will submit that one, and then this one that I need your signature on is the for Bicknell Hill that Rodney was just talking about. This is our submission for just, what is it? Hill. Is it at the end? Probably, yeah. I'll see. This is our application for that, for the Better Roads for fiscal 27.
For Kibble Hill,
Bicknell. We already have the Kipling. This is for Bicknell culvert work that Rodney wants to do.
They're also a year ahead.
Yeah,
no, where's that one? I don't remember him talking about. The culvert in Bicknell Hill. Maybe because he didn't talk about it.
I think he just asked me if I had it ready for you to sign, and I said
Yeah.
yes. I have no idea where it
We
is.
won't
There's-
be on the slide board when they get to that one.
Yeah, not worry about that.
If you look at, if you really wanna know, at the end of that packet, there are pictures, and you might be able to tell, but.
That's really in there. Oh, here we are, wait, we done.
One of the. Story 900,
Yeah,
where is that?
um. There's a number of them listed here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's near Ackerman's farm.
Almost in Chelsea.
Yeah. They're all 18-inch culverts.
You were right. Wait, no, the gray one is broken, and they gave us the blue one, but I didn't have to wear them out there because I just didn't know how many in. They left the blue one and now I have to.
Oh, I was actually just looking for just recycling, I didn't actually need secure shred, but.
That's okay, just throw it in.
John.
Hmm?
Go with the map.
You know which one they're doing?
It's 6 of them, 18 inches, 6 culverts being upgraded for 18 inches and anticipated to be 40 feet below culverts.
Over. A lot of 1/4s there that have to be updated.
I think that's it for me, steps that, I'm. For a while, I was asking about when Stratford Road is gonna be done, is because I need to start submitting some of those expenses,
Yeah,
So I think, in talking with Chris Plump, last week, I'm gonna go ahead and actually submit an interim report. Usually the projects happen fast enough that we can just do a one final and submit it all at once.
Mhm.
But because this is continuing to drag on, Chris suggested that we submit at least an interim report before the end of the year, so I'll work on that next, and then we'll just do the final. But the majority of the dollars have not been spent yet, because the majority of the dollars is coming from Northwood's work.
so they just haven't billed yet.
Right.
Yes.
They've gonna build the end of the project.
So they sent us like sort of. An itemized, I don't wanna say itemized, but like for the project, this much. They
Yeah.
did that first leg, we paid them that. And so we under what we do at the whatever, and they've not, yeah.
They would want.
But they,
Yeah, because they billed us 40,500 of the total 212,790 that we're anticipating. So the majority of the dollars have still not actually
Yeah.
been invoiced to us on this, so. But I will go ahead and submit an interim report.
Well, we have it in a fund.
Yes.
Do we have that? I mean. Have it. You're spending it, and then it will go back.
Right, sort of constantly, right, like we spend the money, then we get the reimbursement for the project, and that money then goes into the, and then it
Right.
pays for the next project, and then we get reimbursed in it,
cash flow.
like it's constantly cycling.
No matter how it goes.
Just a check fighting, but it's legal.
Okay, that, I think that's it for me.
Just back to the stickers thing, if we did stickers for 1,000 stickers that would just say like Tunbridge transfer station. A year, that everybody would get a numbered sticker. it would cost about $420 for 1,000 stickers.
Mhm.
And they'd be like cling stickers. So then, if you have 3 cars, you would just peel it off of one,
Yeah.
stick it on the other.
Huh.
So,
And so would we have to renew them every year?
so I think what we would do is go through some different colors.
Yeah.
And then that way, whoever owns the property that year. So,
Okay. So we'd be spending $400 or $500 a year on stickers.
and that would give us, some extras for renters. and things like that.
Right, you need some, 100 or 200 or something. Yeah.
So,
With,
I don't think that's a bad expense.
No, not as bad as I thought it would be.
Yeah, so just to give you that.
Yep.
Real quick.
Right. I've got them. Okay. I'm gonna go scan and then I'll be back, Brenda's.
Well, I wanted to thank you, Mary Ann, for being so on top of all this stuff. It would boggle my mind to do all this, so I'm glad you're doing it. Yeah,
half the
So-
select
Trying
board.
to follow your mind.
I got an email the other day from somebody asking if we have an abandoned junk. Or like some sort of ordinance or anything regarding like abandoned junk items that are turning into public nuisances.
like
And I
those
said,
couches.
yeah, and I said, I don't think we do, but I'll bring it up.
Yeah.
So I didn't know if that was something you wanted to look into. I don't know.
Do other towns have them, if you know?
I'm sure other towns do.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you wouldn't be able to put your couch on the curb in Woodstock,
Yeah, oh, true, yeah.
It just lasts long.
Chippendale.
But then, I don't know if that helps us when you put it on the side of the road, that's not technically your property. I mean, it would be.
Right away.
Right, it would be like if I left it
Lawn.
on my,
Right,
on the barn, yard for
Yeah.
the next 6 months, and it was my old moldy couch.
well, I guess look into that, 'cause
Yeah,
it's interesting.
check in, see if other towns have something.
You can
Okay.
see it getting sticky
Or-
really fast.
Yeah,
The state has something because. If
Right, free and
down
clear.
here in one town, somebody sticks something out there, be the state right away.
yeah, but then it would also just kind of come down, everybody doesn't want, zoning and that type of thing. And if you were saying that you couldn't leave it because it's, an eyesore, I couldn't have my own couch out there, then that would come down to kind of like us having some sort of zoning ordinance saying that you can't have X, Y, and Z in your yard for more than X, Y, and Z days. Which, I don't know, that
We
seems
could
kind of
pursue a
shady.
policy, so we don't really have to enforce it, but.
Yeah,
We could say the town would hope that you would not do this.
Right,
okay, I'll say policy then.
yeah, if it just became a nuisance sort of thing versus someone having a free item, like my sister's always taking stuff at the bottom of the crossroad. Still knickknacks in the shelf or something and free,
Right,
people usually stop and get it.
right.
Will 4-ball tires last longer than a couch? Bunch of wrong.
I hope so. I put an easel out there yesterday.
Is it gone?
No,
Oh.
nobody took it, and I was actually shocked because it's like a kid's easel, and one side's chalk, one side's a whiteboard, and it has like a roll of paper on it.
They're all
This-
grown up now, they don't.
Well, they don't use it at all. No, they're not, my kids are not artsy, so I hope they would be. They're not. So I put it out there and I'm like, somebody's gonna take it.
Yeah.
It's still
They
there.
need to sell it better, like, parent of artsy kids.
Yeah,
please
this
pay
is for
it.
you.
So,
no, it will go to the.
That's one of those funny stories that was. John Oja told a story one time about going to some hunting camp and they changed the stove in the hunting camp and they took the one out and said tree on the side of the road and it just sat there. So that, I think it was John or somebody put a price tag of $100 on it and somebody stole it.
That's funny.
There is actually some truth to that.
Yeah,
Many people deem it to be useless and worthless unless you want money for it. Now they see it as how they value it.
priceless.
Yeah.
You can trade it for the large screen TV.
Oh, down there, yeah, I saw that too.
Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah, my favorite place.
Do you have anything, Brenda, for other business?
You do.
Actually, you do,
I do.
yes. Continuity of operation,
Right, well,
you were gonna bring up.
Well.
This is a good time
You
for
should
it
bring it
before
up. I mean, you're.
you went to the. You went to the meeting,
Yeah,
I
I
wasn't
did.
there, but I can if you or Mary Ann can. I can start.
Okay,
Yeah.
start.
You're the
Okay, I'll start.
mastermind here.
Well, I don't know if I'm the mastermind, but one of the things that when I go to these conferences and when we start to go through the grants that we found is that they're what they call continuity of operation. And it looks like we probably ought to work on ours a little bit in different aspects. And the more we talked about it, Becky, myself, and Mary Ann trying to pull this all together. On one aspect, we realized it fell into other aspects too. And it's a good thing for our town to do for the future of the town. When most of us age out or we're not in these positions, and that was for your benefit. But
Describe the continuity of operation.
to keep everything flowing in town, everybody knowing what their responsibilities and job descriptions are.
Mhm.
Who appoints them, how they got where they got. And how everything flows when you have an issue.
Yeah.
That's going on, who's responsible for what.
Mhm.
And that's it in a nutshell. I didn't add in anything you've seen it at different levels here.
I think also the transfer of information, which I feel we lack in this town. When we change select board members, you guys will take all of your knowledge of what you've done the years that we've been here with you, and a new person will sit down and have none of that. And we're in a regular business, one person will oversee it for a very long time, and then there'll be, lots of written policies and things like that, that transfer those to the new people. We, for some reason, just tend to lose stuff. So ordinances that were written years ago,
Mhm.
we're probably redoing a lot of stuff.
Right.
That's already been done. We just don't know it because it was done 20 years ago.
Right, because I see stuff every now and again that I signed 6 years ago, I don't remember signing that.
Exactly. And so like we just don't have a really good system of sort of transferring the knowledge. And I go back to that radio, whatever.
Yeah.
Who's gonna remember it in years
Yeah.
to redo that? I'm like, those are the things I worry about, because we don't have a good system.
How do you do that though?
And it should be somewhat faceless.
Right,
Like my job description, I'll
Right.
use the emergency manager, whoever's in that position. Should know exactly what it is and how they work with certain people. If something's working, it should be written down. And that's, Mary Ann's finding out, the planning commission found out, we went for grants. That the roads now have to have a history.
Mhm.
And just all the stuff being pulled together. And who's doing what. Like I said, it doesn't matter, it's really faceless. But it goes to the next person, whoever gets voted in. Some of us are elected and some of us like, my position as an EMD is mandated by the state and feds. But you select the individual, but the position is mandated, that should be in writing somewhere. And then just passed on each one.
who would be in charge of making sure this happens?
So we met with John. That's one of the reasons we asked if John would come there, but I think it's gonna be. Probably the 3 or 4 of us start and then reach out to the town employees and get all their job descriptions. I think that's what you guys came up at the meeting. I couldn't make the first meeting.
Yeah, I mean, I think we talked about a bunch of layers, and I think one of the very first layer that we talked about was just starting with like, everyone should have a job description, and many of us either don't, or like if, I think I have like a paragraph, but it doesn't match, right? Like you hired me to manage the ARPA funds, and I haven't been managing the ARPA funds
Now you're
for 2 years,
right.
right?
Yeah.
So we started with like, part of it is truly knowing sort of job descriptions and individual responsibilities. And then some of the continuity was also the things like when Mariah took over as town clerk, and then you hired me on as the grants. And we went for weeks trying to figure out how to log into the FEMA portal
Oh, right.
and ended up, turn off the recording, like, we ended up having to log in as somebody else. Oh, like 2 town clerks ago, because it had never sort of gotten like updated.
Yeah.
So one of the things that we should have is this, how you transition from a job. So if you hire a new town clerk, what are the things they need to do? What do they need to update in their name? You know, who they have to register with this. Same thing now, like I should have a list of all of the portals that I work on as the grants manager. And I should have, when you get a new grants manager, I should turn that over to that person and say, here's the portals I use, and here's, you know, like, here's how I log in. And ideally, right, if I don't like just storm out in a fit of rage and quit on the spot, right, like, I should have a crossover with that person and say, I'm gonna log into this portal and set you up, now you're in that portal, now I'm gonna log into this portal and set you up. So there was all these sort of things that we should do, knowing that a lot of these positions, some of these positions are elected. Some of these positions are employed but might turn over, you know, so that was so then like the job descriptions and sort of knowing who does what to start. Then all of this pertinent information to those jobs that we should make sure everybody kind of knows, like who owns which passwords and where stuff is located. And then the third layer was then knowing more sort of along the emergency line, knowing when something happens, like who do we call and who responds, and you know, sort of like, is there a, you know,
There is a set,
and who
yeah,
does
there was a
what?
little bit of a gap in our town. It's not major, but we just needed to work on it. And I'll take another one, I can pick on Rudy, you know, cause he's so busy on stuff, but he's our flood. Our flood person that goes on. We've been asking him probably to put a job description together to pass on to anybody else. We don't have it. So if something happened to Rudy or myself or Simon, it would be really nice that, you know, the next person could at least have something on paper. You know, it's not a mystery, that person kept volunteering for more and more stuff.
I think the other thing that we talked about, and I don't know if it was continuity of care, and I can't remember Mariah, I don't think you were here. But one of the things that we all sort of like posited would be super helpful was if going forward, we had a way to sort of say like, what decisions were made at each meeting. Like, we know the meetings are recorded, but in terms of like being able to go back and search, is there a way to do like a log? And so it says like,
Right.
on this meeting, this was approved, or this ordinance was enacted.
On Dara.
Yeah, so I mean, I guess like that, I do very in-depth minutes, you know, like I'm talking about everything. I don't have to, I just thought that like history wise, when people look back in 50 years, they might be like, you know, like to read exactly what we talked about. I don't have to, I can make it very, like, I only have to talk about what, you know, decisions are made and what motions are made. I could do that if that's easier, that would be easier for me, but.
No, but would there be a way every time Tara Weatherall's mentioned then in minutes that you could Google that?
I'm sure there's a way, especially with like ChatGPT and stuff now, that you could just say like, go on the select board's page. I mean, as far as the way that our minutes are uploaded to the website, no, because they're just PDFs and it's just all separate.
Right, it's not.
So you could open every PDF and you could search for a word, but unless I then did like an overview on each one and then we uploaded like,
Hyperlinks essentially.
Yeah.
Almost like.
yeah.
Could you do a running log? So I was saying like at my senior leadership team at work, we have just an Excel file.
Okay.
And we meet every Wednesday, and if we make a decision, it just gets put on that Excel file as a single line. Like, I don't care, I'm not weighing in on how you do your
Yeah,
minutes, I
yeah.
don't, but I'm saying like in that file,
Yeah.
like we say, so then if someone wants to search and say, did the select board actually approve Tara Weatherall?
Right.
You just go to the Excel spreadsheet and it'll show you every meeting date and every sort of thing that they
Approved.
approved or
Okay.
like
Motion.
certain motion.
Yeah, I mean,
on that
Yep.
spreadsheet.
I could make that. moving forward. I don't necessarily wanna go back.
Because then we were thinking to the point, Gary, that like, you're like, didn't we approve this person already? Or like, didn't I sign this already? Like, you could look back at this, at the Excel file and say, wait, back in April, we already approved Carol. Why am I doing this again?
Yep.
And then there should be some justification or like, oops, nobody remembered.
Cross-reference with me.
And if you are looking for 10 years from now, who did something, you might be able to just go back through and figure out who did whatever and then retrace your steps.
Right, right. I mean, if you wanted to read more about it, then you would know which select board meeting minutes to go pull or which reporting to go
Instead of
watch.
going through the last 2 years and trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
But also to go forward, I'm sorry,
I was just gonna say, is this Excel sheet something that we would want linked on the webpage as well, like at the top of the select board stuff, so anybody could look at it? Is that where we want it to live?
If we can do that,
Okay,
Why
yeah,
not?
we can.
I won't do it. That's okay.
so moving forward with this, it's really a town project with
Yeah.
you guys directing it and us. We didn't know if, John, we could continue to meet and start to ask all of us. I know a few of us have been working on our job descriptions.
Good time.
All right.
Yeah, I've done one, I couldn't download the other. Mine are easy, but we gotta reach out to other people, we've gotta. It's interesting, they've got quite a collection of
Yeah.
elected people, appointed people.
And that brings up that whole point that whatever we do has to be somewhat adaptive because town sort of government keeps changing, especially from the state's point of view, because we used to have not too long ago, elect a town clerk and a treasurer,
Yeah.
now we don't, and it sounds like, listers, the state's pushing us
Right.
to essentially go with professional assessors and,
Yeah.
I can see in 20 years there won't be any listers,
Yes.
so. Those sort of things we need to
Yeah, and who answers to who,
evolve.
and how this is laid out a little bit, so
Town
anybody in the future.
managers, Tunbridge man, town manager in 20 years,
So I think we'd probably be asking if we could continue to meet first off, and then the approval of select board to go forward with this.
Yeah. Is there a way of? I mean, I always think it's helpful that if there was a town who's done a really good job at this about our size to find out. Who's done
It'd be
this.
nice to not have to reinvent the wheel.
Right, exactly, or be the first one, I don't know how we find that.
I don't know, I know the state, I was kind of
Well,
surprised, the state actually, for emergency people, have a continuity of operations class.
Yeah,
They're actually teaching to encourage us to do that part for my emergency stuff.
yeah,
It doesn't quite flow into everything else we're talking about. But it would be the same. It would be, they want the information put down with a chain of command and.
And I think once we get like a good idea of how it flows, it would be easy to continue. We just have to create a good system so that, I am not the only one that knows how to be the treasurer of Tunbridge. If I get hit by a bus tomorrow, God forbid. I want somebody to be able to step into my shoes and be like, I can do that.
Or you can figure
At
it out.
least sit down and have an outline.
what's interesting too, think of how you're treasurer for a bunch of things too, not just the town.
I am tax collector, school district treasurer. Not related to the.
Who's
necessarily-
doing fire department?
I'm doing fire department, but. I. Separate from the town, but still, yeah, no, I do a lot of energy, so.
Like this motion for purchasing.
And if there's the town clerk who's also the administrative assistant.
Motion, 1,000
How does that
3/4
work?
inches
Just
carry
close
out.
the one.
Purchase.
Right,
So I think we're looking for approval to try to move forward on this
yeah,
organizational plan here.
And probably the first step is just to send everybody out and. Get their job, what
Description.
they think their job descriptions are, and then we'll probably have to go through and be like. Where are the holes, where are we missing?
Yeah.
Where do we need to?
I think it's a good idea. You continue.
and are some even just, are the auditors, for example, is that? State statute that they put together the town report, or is that just historically something that's been done? I don't know.
I think a little bit of both. I think it did start, I think they did start a state statute and then it's now historically been their job and then.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to know some.
But someone needs to do it though, I would think,
Yeah,
transparency.
yeah.
No, definitely someone needs to do it.
Yeah, no, I think it's.
So we'll get in touch with you probably Friday morning. It won't take us long to just get something written up. To ask people to put together, then we'll have to get together and have a look at it, like,
Who are the people
yeah.
who need to be filling out these things?
Everyone. It was like everyone. Hired by the town. Tells
But
you-
including volunteers, I mean, I don't know where. It's pretty big,
Well, I'm a volunteer,
yeah.
but I'm still mandated by the state and the feds. That you fill that position.
I think if you have a job title, you should be doing the job description.
So Simon's a volunteer, he should still have a job description. There are certain things that myself and Simon have a lot of control over. During certain
Oh,
situations.
for sure. But
And it should be written down. And then how that flows from there. Like my job starts to diminish, but they have told me repeatedly, you will always be the connection between the state and FEMA and you guys.
Mm.
Until it's handed off to you entirely, handed off to Mary Ann. We might be handing it off to her a little quick.
And I think the other one that maybe Becky and I talked about without you was just like, for example, we have the new town nurse position.
Yep.
She should have a job description and it should be clear what she's responsible for, what she's not responsible for. What the town's liability is, like it was a new position and it was wonderful and we went sort of full in.
Mhm.
But if anyone was to ask us, do we have sort of the documentation to back up that we have, like what she's doing is what we agree she is doing
Right.
for us and.
Very important, yeah.
And I do think that's going to become more important as town meeting approaches, because I've had a lot of.
People have asked you questions or you have questions?
No, people have asked me
Yeah, I've actually had a few too.
how important is she, or why there are a lot of people that are questioning.
I think they're mostly picking places about money savings. more than
Exactly.
anything. It boils down to that.
Yeah.
They don't know where else to turn.
This has been a tough year for a lot of people. Definitely felt that. A lot of people have told me that they're moving.
Yeah, I mean, I've even had people ask me to justify what I do for the town and ask me, do we get more in grants than they pay me?
Mhm.
So I wouldn't be surprised if those questions come up.
Right?
for sure.
I will fight to the death for you, Mary Ann. I will fight to the death for you.
And also, just I think in small town government, so often a position is in the town sort of consciousness, it becomes so personality driven, you know, if you take Jody as town nurse, right?
Yep.
That's sort of who you see there at the
Right.
moment, and not as, there's always gonna be a position of town nurse, and it may be a different person.
Right.
Over the next 20 years, but it should essentially be the same. You know, job description.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, I get kind of nervous when I look at my position as an EMD, when I meet with other EMDs in this area, there's
Yeah.
an individual in particular, he's pretty happy about. Man, he reads his job description from the state and he's excited. It just won't work if we don't write that down.
Yeah.
You know, like I work hand in hand with Simon,
Right,
and I'm a firm believer that it has to be done that way.
with a
You have
prior
to-
warning too, so you have.
So you have to have a good relationship and you've gotta write that down, that it's gonna be a mutual, in fact, the state's asking about that with the
Mm.
fire wardens. About that relationship. Cause different responsibilities are falling, like I'm supposedly responsible for the total aspect of a wildland suppression. But I really have no right telling the chief how to direct their people,
Yeah,
you know, they're responsible for their people.
right,
So it's gotta be together. It can't be someone all excited about their control they just read about.
Well, I think that was the other piece too, is that like a lot of people wear multiple hats, and so if you have the job descriptions, if you know. When you replace Becky as the treasurer and whenever, right, like. You may not hire one person to do the 4 hats Becky was wearing, you gotta be clear.
Right.
What was on her plate as the treasurer, or like Rudy, I think is a great example,
Right.
right, like, doesn't he wear 3 or 4 hats, like. You know, are you getting a new lister, are you getting a new floodplain coordinator, are you getting a new, you know, and. Is Rudy the IT guy or not, and if he's not, stop asking him to be the IT guy, you know what I mean, like.
Yeah,
It just sort of, as we started talking about this, we just sort of snowballed into these, like, lots of people are wearing lots of hats, and if you were to replace them.
Mhm.
Making sure everybody knows, like, oh, you're hiring a lister, so that means they're not necessarily the floodplain coordinator, they're not necessarily the fire warden, they're not.
Is this true? Like, my school district treasurer job is elected through that separately. So just because you become the town treasurer does not mean you
Right.
become the school district treasurer.
That's not at school either.
Yeah, that's the school meeting.
Yeah.
So the only other thing I have, if we were done on the subject
Yeah.
quickly, so you guys can, because you're done with your crackers and your chocolates.
They're out of food.
I could not find how much that well delivers on the GIS map. Usually they have to annotate, where the well is, the drilling well, and how many gallons per minute. I can find that one. I can't actually even find rods. I can find next door. But they're not, Rudy said they're not all on there, and unfortunately, that doesn't appear to be one of them that's on there.
I was gonna say, I think it
Yeah,
depends on
Right.
where.
On my side of the guy. There's one of the place was driven well,
Yeah,
and he wondered how much. And
he couldn't find it.
no, both his neighbors were on that.
Yeah, and he wasn't. They're supposed to put it on. This one's an old one. It's probably been there for a while. I honestly don't know what to tell you. You know, if we put an outside spigot here, the downside. I don't think most people are gonna take that much. I've got a few people who are still out of water.
And how much water you use here. I mean,
Right.
if you got
But it-
over 2 gallons a minute, you're never gonna use it here.
And if we've got the town hall hitched up to it too, I believe.
Didn't they drill one at the library? Because they drilled the one here that was.
That was
they went
dry.
600 feet, it was
Yeah, it
dry,
was
right?
dry.
Did they move down to the library and drill again? I can't.
Ours,
I don't know, it sounds familiar, but, yeah, I think so, cause they do it on.
I could find out from people who drilled it, but this is history that we're gonna lose over time.
Yeah.
But what we found out is that we get our water from that building down on the fairgrounds. The fairgrounds isn't using it.
Who owns it? Is it an easement essentially?
You know, that's a good guess. This is history that I don't know how it works. You know, it could have been a David Goodnow agreement
Right.
back when.
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta be going.
That might have been back further.
Ed Flynn.
So I have to throw it back at you whether we do an outside faucet for people or we kind of hold on that. I did ask the one, Kathy Paluzzo was one of the people without water. So I asked her if the school was available. I kept picturing they must have an outside faucet, and she didn't think so. And she really didn't want to bother them about people going to the school during school hours.
Well, what's it gonna cost to stick one in here?
He said $500 or a little less.
Well, I would think we could stick one in here, and if somebody needs it.
Then it's there. We just have to make sure they don't leave a hose on it. You know, anybody driving by to see a hose, get it off in the winter.
Right. But
We don't want it hurting those bricks.
Right.
Right,
We collect the rainwater into a bucket for
right.
non-potable water.
Okay, that's all I have.
All right, we so good then. Good discussion.
where do we get our select board job descriptions?
Use one word.
It's the select board stuff.
It's my first step.
I make a motion.
Just select board does some of that stuff.
Me too.
So I have a folder
Yeah, I actually have to get a copy of that, so I'm gonna take it with me. I just wanted to.
When do you want to start?
I saw them, they're so cute. I put them back in those tonight. I'm like, you were clean, you can wear these again. They're so, I know, I love the bamboo, like they sleep so well with the